गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन संकीर्तन की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की, श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री गौर निताय की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namavom Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Rama Rama Hare So, in the previous class, we were discussing about two things: importance of the morning program and importance of Vaishnava behavior. Many of you had written answers after going through the booklet and extracted the points and responded to me. Thank you very much. I wanted to also make some teachers who will correct those also to help me, because in Pune also I have another SLATE group. Sometimes I have too many assignments to correct. So if any of you would volunteer to help me with that, I'll be grateful. Huh? Or here, who is the teacher who corrects generally amongst you all? Okay. Okay. So one another thing last time I spoke was about Tarko Apratishta Shrutiyo Vibhinna. How we present the differences in our approach to scriptures. That was one thing. And also we discussed about the prejudices. Huh? Sometimes we all have prejudices, material prejudices, which come with us from our birth, from the family upbringing. How many of you present in that discussion last time when we were discussing these things? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay. So today I want to bring one more important thing in Sadachar, because you all need not be taught how to do Panchanga Pranam or how to do Ashtanga Pranam or how to be careful in worshipping the deity, avoiding seva aparadas. These things you know very well. But certain things which I discussed last time and this time also shall discuss, they will be very relevant, I felt. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we will recite these verses here on the board. Hey Gupta Bhava Sindhu Brahmana Payeka Bindu Hena Dana Vilaila Samsari. ऐचे दयालु अवतार ऐचे दाता नहीं आर गुण के हनारे वर्णि बारे। Read the translation, one of you. I'll just tell us. Mike? There's
No
Mike.
one, not
Mike,
even
Mike,
Lord
Mike is there?
Brahma.
Isn't it a Mike? It should be another Mike because it's going into recording.
No one, not even Lord Brahma, can ascertain or can taste a drop of this confidential ocean of ecstasy. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of his causeless mercy, has distributed this love of Godhead all over the world. Thus, there cannot be any incarnation more munificent than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There is no great donor who can
Greater donor.
There is no greater donor who can describe his transcendental qualities.
कही बार कथा नहीं कैले के है ना बुझे ऐचे चित्र चैतन्य रंग से बुझते पारे चैतन्य कृपा यारे हय तार दासानुदास संग Yeah. Read the translation, please.
Such topics are not to be discussed freely because if they are, no one will understand them. Such are the wonderful pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The one who is able to understand Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has seen mercy by giving him the position of the servant of his own servant.
And is glorifying Raghunath Das now. Chaitanya Lila Ratna Sar Swarupera Bhandar Te ho tu ila Raghunath Ratna Okay.
Chaitanya Lila Ratna Sara Swarupera Bhandar Te ho tu ila Raghunath Ratna
ताहा के चुयेश सुनिलूं ताहा यहाँ विस्तारिलूं भक्तगण दिलूंगे बेंटे Yeah.
The pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are the topmost possibilities. They have been kept in the storehouses of Swarupa Damodar Goswami, who has explained them to the Goswami, who has repeated them to me. Whatever I have heard from Radheshyamdas Goswami, I have described in this book, which is presented to all devotees.
Parampara system. Read this translation.
It would say that Chaitanya is full of Sanskrit verses and therefore not understandable by a common man. I regret that what I have described are the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and that for me to satisfy everyone is not possible.
Because if he makes everything in Sanskrit, common people cannot read, just like we have all the commentaries of Acharyas, like Sridhar Swami, Vishnu Thakur, everything is in Sanskrit, people cannot read. So Kaviraj Goswami thought, should I give a Bengali commentary or a Sanskrit one? So he thought like that and then he decided. So in this way he said, everybody has likes and dislikes, and he thought very deeply. Then he decided to make it in Bengali mostly, and then in between intersperse it with shlokas from the various Puranas and that kind of thing. Because by that he was confident that even Hindi people can understand also. Bengali is very simple. Like that, yeah. But if one hears over and over again, the Chaitanya love will become very clear, he says. Yeah. So, therefore, instead of keeping it only Bengali or only Sanskrit, I have interspersed it. If you read it over and over again, you will understand. And then he's telling about, this is very, you'll see here. Ami Vriddha Jara Tura Likite Kampaya Kara Manakichu smarana nahaya. ना देखिए नयने ना सुनिए श्रवणे तबुल किए बड़ा विस्मय. See, I am Jara means old age. I am actually disturbed by old age and disease in this body. And likite kampanya kara. When I am writing, my hands are shaking. Mane kichu smarana nahaya. And remembering all the finest details becomes difficult in old age, very old age. Na dekhiye nayane. My eyes are hard of seeing. Na suniye shravana. I am hard of hearing. Thabuli ki ye bada vismay. How my hands are still able to write. It's a great astonishment even to me. It's only Lord Chaitanya's mercy I'm able to do this, he says. So, and then he says that in the, okay, you can read the translation. He's giving the sutra format, yeah.
In the describe the essence of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya at the end. If I die in the meantime and I cannot describe them in detail, at least the devotees will have this transcendental treasure.
Yeah. So, in this way he gave a very, see, Sankshepe, Yei Sutra Kaila, Yei Iha Na Likila, Agataha Kariba Vistar. He says that now I am giving you in Sankshepe very brief, one-liner, all pastimes. Later I am going to explain each of them. In case I am alive, in case I pass away, then this is your asset. You can keep. See here what he says. We will recite this one. संक्षेप ये सूत्र कैला ये नाल किल आगे ताह करिबा विस्तार. संक्षेप ये सूत्र कैला ये नाल किल आगे ताह करिबा विस्तार. यदि तत दिन जिये महाप्रभुर कृपा है ये इच्छा बड़े कृप करिबा विचार. यदि तत दिन जिये महाप्रभुर कृपा है इच्छा बड़े करिबा विचार. So if there is Mahaprabhu's mercy by which my life is given little extension, then I may be able to complete it. It's all in whose hands? Lord's hands, it's not in my hand. You know, Mahaprabhu's mercy, if I live for so many days, I can fulfill my desires, then I can give you full pastimes. Chota bada bhakta gana bhato sava shri charana save more karaha santosha. स्वरूप गोसाई मत रूप रघुनाथ जाने यत ताई लिखि नाही मोर दोष. Yeah.
I want to derivate the lotus feet of all kinds of devotees, both advanced and neophyte. I request all of them to be satisfied with me. I am faultless because I have written herein whatever I have understood from Swarupa Damodar Goswami and Rupa and Radheshyamdas Goswamis. I have neither added to nor subtracted from their words.
Yeah. So this is the mood of Kaviraj Goswami while writing the, then he is also, he's taking the dust of Chaitanya with all the great personalities. After taking the dust of Vaishnavas, he is also taking the dust of all the great souls. And then he's saying here, so he's especially saying here that he got receiving orders from the above authorities and the Vaishnavas of Vrindavan, especially Haridas, about whom he explains in another place, where he is actually in the Radha Govind temple, a very great pujari, pure-hearted soul. How he got his instruction and he got the garland of Lord Govinda there, that is explained in another place. So this is one section of CC where you are hearing about Kaviraj Goswami, writing about to write a literature, declaring his helplessness and the great souls from whom he is drawing the support and mercy and their blessings. And also is presenting first in a humble fashion. Then he is going to present the book. There's another section of Chaitanya Charitamrita where he talks about Chaitanya Leela. I don't have to redo this work because somebody else has already done it. Who? Vrindavandas Thakur has done it before. If I do this work again, it will become like an offense to him, he says. Because he has done and I do the same work, then it will be like my audacity to prove myself to be greater than the previous author who already has written the book. My book is better, his book is inferior. It will become like that. So I am not supposed to write. Nevertheless, I want to explain to you the reason why I am writing this. And then he glorifies Vrindavandas Thakur's, at the time it was called Chaitanya Mangal. Later on it was called as Chaitanya Bhagavat. So glorifies Chaitanya Bhagavat, saying that Vrindavandas Thakur is not different from Vedavyas. He is come again as Vrindavandas Thakur, and he is born of Narayani, who got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Mahaprasad. So he's a very, very great pure devotee, and he has narrated all the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, especially the childhood pastimes, beginning from the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. And then he says that as he wrote the literature, it became very bulky, and most of the pastimes up to taking sannyas were mentioned in that book. And post sannyas, there is not much discussion. Chaitanya Bhagavat, there is very little. So, since many devotees are ordering me to write about that section of Mahaprabhu's life after going to Jagannath Puri, after taking sannyas, he went to Puri. And since those part-time pastimes are witnessed by one great personality, Raghunath Das Goswami, who was a personal witness to those pastimes. He lived there with Mahaprabhu many, many years before coming to Vrindavan. And then when he came to Vrindavan, everybody wanted to hear from him, Rup Sanatan, others also. So they told him to speak the pastimes. And I was fortunate that these pastimes of Mahaprabhu, when he spoke, Raghunath Tera Kinte, he says, when he spoke it, I was personal audience. Just like Sudha Goswami says that I was hearing the Bhagavatam and Shukadeva Goswami spoke to Parikshit. I also heard it. Like that, he says, I got to hear this. And now I thought if I put it down on the order of Haridas, and many other Vaishnavas have requested me, multiple names, he says. Therefore, I am making an effort to write this book. And then he says, this is in no way to undermine the work of Vrindavandas Thakur. Very carefully and cautiously, several slokas are there. You will find. Now, why these sections are important for us? Now, in ISKCON also, there are many people now bringing out many nice books. You find that recently Gauranga Darshan Prabhu has published disapproved, not disowned, that kind of books. Then Bhagavata Viveka, that kind of books, and Subodhini books and others brought, and children books brought. Pune also we have many children books they have. Similarly, Gauranga Prabhu has brought some books for the newcomers. Gaur Gopal Prabhu wrote some one or two books there. His own Ranath Maharaj has written some books also. And then Shivaram Swami Maharaj has written many books on the sadhana bhakti, just like Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani or Sankalpa Kaumudi, or Napare Ekham, or Venu Gita, and books like that. Very elaborate versions of nectar of devotion and bhakti literatures. And there are also Sandarbhas also published now. His own Bhanu Maharaj has translated more than 100 books. They are all available now. So, in this way, there are also other gurus' disciples drawing information from their guru's lectures and making them into a book format, and they're publishing also. So, nowadays in big ISKCON temples, if you go, there are a lot of books there now. Besides Prabhupada books, they are also there. So, sometimes the question arises, whether we can promote these books or we should promote Prabhupada books. We had a very big talk in the exchange meeting in Hyderabad. So they said that 90% of the books should be Prabhupada books. Maybe 10, 20%, 10, 15% you can keep other books. Otherwise, people will not read Prabhupada books. The foundation will be lost. That was the concern. So, but people go to Mayapur, Vrindavan, they purchase these books. They get it. So, amongst these books, there are books of different nature. For example, Madhav Gopinath Prabhu and team, all of you produced one book on Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter called as Gita in a nutshell, right now. So that book is like Acharya, some Tikas are also there, and flow charts and everything. It is for aiding the study of the Bhagavad Gita, correct now? Similarly, the Subodhini made by Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, is also to aid our study of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-Gita, and C6. Correct, no? So the books which aid study of Prabhupada books, that is one category. Correct, no? And then there are books, like I had written a series of 4 books in those days, Discover Yourself, and Your Best Friend, and Your Secret Journey, and Victory Over Death. Those kind of books. So they are all based on different small and big books of Prabhupada, put together in a fashion. It's like a blend of science and spirituality, little logically, scientifically explained. And I made this essence of Bhagavad Gita. Now we are trying to make it like Gita for all ladies. Like that. So some of the books are meant for aiding in the study of Prabhupada books and philosophy. Then there are other books which are Shastric. Say, for example, Shubha Vilas Prabhu has written this Ramayana, 5 volumes. Some Krishna Dharma Prabhu has written Mahabharata and Ramayana. Purna Prajna Prabhu has made many summary books, plenty of them. It's made like that. To make it easy for the people to grasp the overall, Puranic pastimes and everything. Because many people get, otherwise they are not able to study at all. It's made like that. So now, when we, so these books are like that. Similarly, we had one book, Draupadi Mataji brought out that book. That is also from Mahabharata and other literatures about Draupadi character. So there are books like that, which are also drawn from the Shastra and bringing the character to the, like Mahabharata controversies, for example. Many people have many questions about many controversial points, but if a book clarifies it, then people feel very happy that, yes, I got an answer to my question. That means, so these books can also be faith building in approaching Prabhupada books. Because some people may outrightly reject Prabhupada books thinking that these are all religious people. There are so many controversies in Mahabharata. But then when one reads these kind of books and then develops some faith, then they can approach Prabhupada books more confidently with more faith. In that sense, they are good also. And definitely the guides for the Prabhupada books are even wonderful, very wonderful. Then there are other books which are like applied spirituality. For example, many people are writing apparently looking like a self-help book. Say our Shubhalas has written a book, Open Eyed Meditations. That kind of book. Gauranga has written one book, what is the Resilience? Art of Resilience, and what is the other one? Art of Focus. Yeah, I think there are many stories. Some stories is bringing out some lessons from that. And that's for the very, very newcomers. They can, because they are looking for something like, what do you call it, like baby feed, like Cerelac. Because people want something immediately to apply, something in their immediate life. So they're looking for some very easy to digest material without having to go through the breadth and depth of the scriptures. So he gives some little stories, but along with that, some little Mahabharata story also will release in between. Some Ramayana, some Mahabharata also. Along with that, some self-help story also. Everything will be there, like books like that. So then there are advanced books like Zolna's Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj, for example, Mathura meets Vrindavan. So that is like when you're reading Bhagavatam, how Uddhava is coming to meet our Yashoda and Nanda, what kind of consciousness is there in both of them, and what is going on. Uddhava is meeting the gopis. There are books like that. And these books, and Iswalna Shivaram Swami's books, and Iswalna Mahananda Swami's books. So these are all Krishna Kathamrita and books like that. They are all in one platform, we can say. That they go deeper into either the pastimes understanding or improving the quality of our sadhana. They are very directly spiritual and very advanced, also advanced literature. They are of that nature. Similarly, for example, as well as Bhanu Maharaj has written many of the tikas of the acharyas, correct? Sarartha Varshini, Sarartha Darshini, tika and all meditative book very nicely. So there are different type of books, as I told you. So we have to make sure that when we are reading these different books, we keep some kind of balance in such a way that at the end of the day, our firm faith in Prabhupada's lotus feet, Krishna's lotus feet, and all the doubts should be gone. Ladate moha kalilam buddhir jati tarishyati. Tada gantasi nirvedam shotavyasya sutasya, it says. all the darkness should be dispelled. You have gone through the tunnel already and you have come out of the tunnel and then it's bright light now. It's very clear now. You know where you are heading up to. Huh? You are going back from Bhuloka to Goloka. It's very clear. Reading of all this, apart from Prabhupada's Bhaktivedanta purports, reading of all this different literature, is it strengthening your faith, or is it weakening your faith? Is it strengthening your allegiance to Srila Prabhupada, or is it weakening your allegiance to Srila Prabhupada? These questions we should ask. For example, when you read Acharya's commentary, you get some, more explanation about certain pastimes of Bhagavata. Somebody may think, oh, even Prabhupada's purports don't have this. Now Prabhupada, here our Chakravarti Thakur has given more wonderful explanation. Our Chakravarti Thakur's translations are very simple. As it is word to word, he makes it into a sentence, very lucid. Some of the Prabhupada's translations may be little, appearing little jattal, little difficult. So when we see that, what thought arises in our mind? So if one thinks that I know Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur only through Prabhupada, because Prabhupada only says, refer to these Acharyas' commentaries. Correct, no? Like one man in America, he wanted to have a beard, and long flowing hair. And Prabhupada was told by the president that Prabhupada is keeping like that. And Prabhupada called him and said, Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya is keeping long hair. You can see Jesus also keeps long hair. Now, what's wrong with that? He asked. And Prabhupada said, who told you about Lord Chaitanya? He asked. Prabhupada, you only told me. See, I said, look at my hairstyle. I'm keeping shaven head with a shika. So I want you also to be like that. He said, Chaitanya is a supreme enjoyer. Huh? He can have a Nimai Pandit. He can have long flowing hair. You are supposed to shave up your head. He said. So, in our understanding of the Shastra, even through the previous Acharyas, we don't override our founder Acharya. Correct, no? So, overriding the authority will make us lose the mercy. So, therefore, when we are studying the Acharya's commentary, we should think that Prabhupada escorted me to Chakravarti Thakur. And Chakravarti Thakur is like Prabhupada's great-grandfather and Acharya. And he is giving some understanding. Actually, Prabhupada could have given the same understanding if he wanted from the purports. But Prabhupada made the Bhaktivedanta purports precise and crisp so that it will not be too voluminous. If you wanted to include everything from Chakravarti Thakur, Sridhar Swami, if you want, you can include, then what will be the size of the book? So he has taken by, in fact, you will see many of the purports, Prabhupada quotes one paragraph from Chakravarti Thakur sometimes, one paragraph from Jiva Goswami. Certain times you will see that. So, this is one point. Our respect for Prabhupada should not be diminished by reading the other books and literature. Some people subtly criticize Bhaktivedanta purport, saying that, you see, these books written even by ISKCON devotees is so lucid and so easy to grasp for us, Bhaktivedanta purports, Prabhupada keeps saying the same thing over and over again, like that they criticize. So that becomes offensive. It's offensive because His Holiness Gaur Govind Maharaj said, if you read Prabhupada purport superficially, it's like surfing on the top of an ocean, you will only get fishes. But if you go deep in the ocean, you get diamond. It's called as Ratna Garbha. So, certain devotees are very expert. They can take one purport of Prabhupada and then capture those vital points that Prabhupada speaks very, very well. Like one sentence he writes, the great souls cheat for a great cause when Dhritarashtra left for the forest. Prabhupada writes such sentences, amazing. He says that to cut off the tie of material attachment means to broaden the field of spiritual activities. This kind of very amazing statements he makes, profound sentences. So, one is sincerely reading the purports, these kind of points will come to the top and you can recognize it and then you can discuss it and then threadbare discuss amongst the devotees. And then Prabhupada helps us resolve all the contradictions from different purports. If you read Prabhupada purports very carefully, he will actually bring contradicting points, put them on the table, and then he will say, if you see from here, it's like this, if you see from here, it's like this, and you reconcile like this. That also he will say in some purport, he will say that. Further, one should be well learned in Prabhupada purports, vastly and deeply. Then only you will know where is what. one will be able to quote. How we read Prabhupada's books. For example, first you should know in the Bhagavatam, if I ask you, where is Manila chapter, which canto? 8th canto. So where is Gajendra Moksha? 8th canto. Where is Ajamila? 6th canto, yeah. Where is Dhritarashtra quits home? 1st canto, correct, no? So when we ask you chapters, you should be able to say which chapter is in which canto. This is the very, very preliminary study. Then afterwards, when you go a little deeper, then we ask you certain section. Say, for example, Vidura is meeting Uddhava and they are having a discussion. And then Uddhava is telling Maryada Vatikram, when I cannot instruct you, you better go to Maitreya. He says, where is that section coming? Because you want to speak on it somewhere, on Maryada Vatikram. Yeah? That kind. And you should know which place, which chapter it is coming. Some clue you should have. Yeah. So now sometimes in folio you're able to capture it. You'll put Maryada Vatikram and then you will go to that place and get it sometimes. Sometimes you may not be able to because all the asterisk marks are there. It's difficult to get it sometimes. So you can know important sections where the talk comes between characters. This is a deeper study. Then you can also know the prominent verses like now. If you say 3.25.25, what is the verse? Satam prasangan mama virya samedo. Correct. Similarly, 1.18.18, what is that? Daushkulyam vidunoti shigram. That's the verse. Although I was born in a Pratiloma marriage, by Shukadeva Goswami being my guru, I got purified. Like that Sutta Goswami says. Like that. So in this way, we can know the shloka numbers and important shlokas, which are very vital in the Bhagavatam. Like I want to speak on importance of the morning program. So 1.1.5, first line in the purport Prabhupada says, any spiritual activities are conducted in the early morning time. Prabhupada, first line he says. So if you know which purport points are in which shloka purport and which shloka is where, especially prominent shlokas, say some 500 or 1000 shlokas in Bhagavatam. Prominent shlokas, where are they? Can locate them easily. Then that is an even deeper study. Correct, no? Knowing shloka numbers and shloka is one thing, but knowing the purport points is real knowing. Because, Prabhupada brings out in the principles like Vikta Vairagya. For example, Prabhupada talking about sannyasi falling down. I am giving sannyas and people are falling down. Like, then he gives example of, anybody remembers that? Where he quotes this, we are giving sannyas to some people, they aren't able to uphold the sannyas. And then just like he gives example of, he quotes example of elephant which was caught by a crocodile. So where does it come? Gajendra Moksha. In that he writes Gajendra Moksha, where he says that the elephant would have been stronger if he was on land. Right now he was in water, so he became weak. Similarly, just because one is weak in one ashrama doesn't mean he'll be weak in the other ashrama. If he was married, then probably he would be more strong. And then he says, everybody should see which ashrama gives me nourishment for my senses and mind and intelligence, and I feel very nourished in that ashram. Because when our mind is in a stable platform, then you can focus on the Supreme Lord. For some brahmachari, sannyas ashram is more suitable. For some grihastha ashram is more suitable. So like that point he brings out. So in this way, there are many, many instructions for ISKCON devotees, which Prabhupada gives. And similarly, you go to Jadabharata, last part, where it is 5th canto, I think it is 5.6.28 or something like that. Yeah, 28 or 29 verse. There Prabhupada gives 10 instructions for ISKCON devotees. Don't overeat. Because if you overeat, you will oversleep. When you oversleep and get up, you become fat, then you become disoriented. Then you become very lazy, and then one will not do render services, and one will not be interested in philosophy, and in this way one will fall down from his spiritual platform. So Anand Prabhupada is warning all ISKCON devotees, ISKCON is not a free hotel. You put the word free hotel, you get that. So in this way, he's giving many instructions for all of us. So that is real study of Prabhupada purports. Because in Prabhupada purports, you get the mood and mission of Prabhupada. Otherwise, without that, if you only read the translations and go, like for example, there are people who put all the translations on the PPT, and they read the translation and they explain, and they may not go to the purport points. Then what happens? The Acharya's teachings don't reach my heart. Then what I learn is only some Sanskrit meanings of certain specific words, sandhi vichhed or something, how you can connect these two words, how you separate these two words. So you learn from a more technical point of view. You may not learn from the heart of the Acharya. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajanam yena gatasam. You want to know the heart of Acharya, or you want to know the Sanskrit translation? What do you want? Heart of the Acharya, because that's the real juice is. Because Acharya can bring the meaning which we may not. Once I heard a verse, you can see that, like, Keshavam patitam drishtva Pandava harsha nirvara rudante kauravastu ha Keshava Keshava. Like that is one verse. Now Keshavam patitam means, when Lord Keshava slipped and fell, Pandava harsha nirvara means Pandavas laughed, it says. And then rudante kauravastu, and Kauravas cried out, ha Keshava Keshava. They're saying, oh Keshava Keshava, please take care. You're slipping and falling, take care. Like that they said. This is the literal meaning. So how does it sound proper? How many of you feel there is something seriously wrong in the translation, you feel? Correct now? So what is the actual meaning of this? Ka shava means ka means water. In the water, there was a shava kept in the bank of Ganges. People had brought it, and they want to do some puja and everything. After that, they will put it in the water. So Keshavam patitam means somehow the body slipped and fell into the Ganges. And Keshavam patitam dritva. Pandava harsha nirvara means Pandava means the fishes. Now the fishes were very happy. Wow, wonderful. Now we are getting a big feast. And this can go on for many days for us. Can keep eating this body. Like that, they were very happy. Rudante kauravastu. That kaurava means cows. Crows. Rudante, because the crows were thinking, now these people will do some puja and go away and we can eat the body. But then the body slipped and fell in water. So can the crow get the body? So they cannot get. So Keshava Keshava. Alas, the body has fallen into water. Like that, that's the second line. So which translation makes sense, first or second one? Makes sense, correct now. Sanskrit words is the same only, correct now. So that means if somebody is envious of Krishna, he can give which meaning? First meaning or second meaning? First meaning he will give. Just like what that fellow did, Ramanuja's so-called one guru, the Mayavadi guru. What's his name? Yadav Prakash. When he was massaging his feet, he asked a question to him. He asked, Guruji, what is that? Pundarikaksham, Kapyasam Pundarikaksham Akshini. What is the meaning of that? He asked. So he said, Kapi means monkey. Kapyasam means in the back of a monkey, is pink, reddish. Kapyasam. And Pundarikaksham means Lord Vishnu's eyes are reddish like the back of a monkey, like that he said. And when small Ramanuja boy, when he heard it, he cried hot tears. Fell in the body of the Guru, Yadav Prakash. Yadav Prakash asked, hey, why are you crying? What happened? He said, how can you give such an explanation? It's very painful to hear. Lord Vishnu is most adored by his devotees. And his eyes are so beautiful like a lotus, and you are calling it as back of the rear end of a monkey. So I cannot take this. Then he said, oh, you think you know better than me? If you know better than me, tell me what is your explanation. And then he said, Kam pibati. Ka pibati means what drinks water. What is that? That is lotus. Lotus drinks the water. And then Pundarikaksham means, so Lord's eyes are like the lotus petal. Like that he explained. So then that fellow became very fearful. This boy is such a small boy. He is able to give such a very... Because Ramanuja was able to give meaning along with bhava also. Proper bhava of a devotee. Whereas the other Prakash was giving meaning due to the envy for the personality of Godhead. See? Which means sometimes our understanding of the scriptures can even bewilder us. The example is given of Mohini Murti. Like Mohini Murti bewildered the asuras. But she didn't filter the devatas. Correct, no? So sometimes, even though we can become very learned in the Sanskrit and everything, if I lack the necessary attitude towards Prabhupada, Guru, and the Acharyas, the meanings that we may extract or derive from the Shastra can be tainted by our own ahankara. Then it can lead to dangers for us. So the Mohini, just as Mohini has the ability to put people in moha, so we have to be very, very careful. Now, this is one big challenge for ISKCON now. ISKCON, when I went to Calcutta, the BRC, they were asking me to write something and give. So one paragraph, 8-10 lines I wrote and gave. So in that, one of the points I wrote, I'm simultaneously happy and simultaneously concerned. I wrote, I'm happy that ISKCON is going to produce many great stalwart scholars with PhD and everything, who will actually be able to stand in par with people in the outside world and defeat people who are atheistic philosophers and scholars. Everybody, and they will have high respectability in society. Schools, colleges, and they can even decide the syllabus for the books in the schools and all in the future and all, which is a happy part. And the concerned part, I said, we have to take care that our ISKCON devotees don't bend themselves to the mundane scholars of academia in order to earn their degree. Because I heard that some of the Shankaracharya followers are getting doctorates from Oxford and other places. When they are getting, what happens? Initially, when you enter, they go with the intention of propagating Sanatana Dharma culture when they are going into the doctorate. But then after you go, in the last part of doctorate, when you have to do defense and everything, so those people tell them that you cannot put this, you cannot put that, you have to remove this, you have to remove that. And they try to infiltrate with their own things and all. And these people get so fed up now. 6 years I'm doing doctorate now. Some or other I want to be done with it and I have to get a job and get settled in life. They say, tell me what you want me to put, I'll put now. I put and they give it. Then what happens? Then the wrong conclusions are arrived at. Correct now. So this is one great concern because in the field of academia, there are Mayavadis and many others also. In the name of politically being right with them. And we cannot preach with the punch with which Prabhupada preached the truth in an uncompromising way. That's one of the reasons many times I don't look for much approval or validation from anywhere. I just get into preaching and make devotees. Because if we make lots of devotees, and then devotees number increases, the Prithivati Acharya will happen. But sometimes in the field of academia, it's a two-edged sword. One is our bending ourselves to satisfy our Mayavadi boss, who will only award me doctorate because of, this kind of thing. That's one thing. And another thing, damaging our own faith, the innocent and pure faith and simplicity we have in Srila Prabhupada. So these two things we should remember. We should not damage our faith. We should not compromise on the presentation of the philosophy. So it's a very delicate area, and we can actually handle this delicate situation provided we read Prabhupada purports very deeply. We dive deeply, understand his mood and mission, and we flow with Prabhupada, carrying a similar type of consciousness that Prabhupada has wanted us to learn from his purports. Why Prabhupada took his devotees in the morning walks and challenged them with devil's advocate type of questions. The whole idea is, he didn't want them to become scholars. He wanted actually them to develop firm faith in Krishna. Because Prabhupada knew that majority of his devotees may not become very learned big scholars. But if they practice with great conviction and sincerity and seriousness, and that will attract the people. Like if you see, some devotees kept the books in a Crossword and other big shops. And even after 2 months, no book went. But when devotees carry the books and go and sell in the market, in a day they receive 200 books. And Prabhupada said, what sells the books is not the book itself. Many people may ignore the book. But you devotees are living that book. You are practicing that book sincerely. And people see you and they become amazed. And I have my personal realization in this. Once as IIT student, I was wearing white and white dhoti kurta and I was going in the train, distributing Prabhupada books. One old couple, I think the Prabhuji must be around 70 years and Mataji must be 65, I think. Very cultured looking and educated people were in AC bogie. So when I was distributing, they called me, come here. They called me and made me sit. And they were eating some biscuits. They offered me. I said, thank you. We have our prasadam only I take. And they asked me, you look like an educated boy. What inspires you to sell these books and all? They asked me. And I told about Krishna consciousness and about chanting and about Prabhupada, about that movement. And then they said, that's why we thought, you may not be an ordinary book selling boy. Huh? You look like a... And then they said they came to know that we are doing it as a seva for the people. We don't take any remuneration for this. It's not my job or business. We do it as a service. They were so inspired. They took a bulk of some 6-8 books. Whatever I had, they said, okay, give one set. We don't know what is there in the book, but we are sure because you are doing it voluntarily, for your guru. And that is something very pleasing to us. So they took the books. So therefore, in our... now, here if you see Kaviraj Goswami, what is his attitude towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Huh? What is his attitude towards Raghunath Das? Huh? What is his attitude towards all great souls like Rup, Sanatan and other personalities? And what is his attitude towards other Vaishnavas? Chota Bada Bhaktagan, Sabaya Vandacharan is saying that small and big devotees, I offer obeisances at the feet of all the devotees. So this is another yet a very big challenge for us in the field of knowledge, because acquiring knowledge certainly can bring about a sense of superiority, that others are ignorant fools and they don't know this simple thing and I know it. Therefore, the Brahmanas who are in Sattva have two qualities you all know, Sukham and Jnanam. So the Jnanam can lead to false pride and Sukham can lead to complacency. And complacency is in Tamaguna and Jnanam is in, the false pride is in Rajaguna. So the goodness in this world is not always strictly in goodness. It can get tainted by coming down. Whereas Lord Vishnu, he is in a Vishuddha Sattva platform, which is called Sattvam Vishuddham Virajam, it is said. Swanam Mridayantar. He says that the Lord is always Virajam, means he is never touched by Rajas. So this is another thing we should take utmost care. We should follow in the footsteps of great souls like Gopi Paranadhana Prabhu. His name is Gopi Paranadhana Prabhu. He started the school in Govardhan. Although he was vastly learned, greatly learned, and he is known for his humility. Actually, not a single devotee in ISKCON can criticize him. Such was his humility. Extremely. Despite being so learned, my spiritual master used to glorify him like anything for his humility. Actually, my spiritual master generally will glorify somebody who is famous for humility, like His Grace Jananivas Prabhu. Like that, he glorifies His Grace Gopi Paranadhana Prabhu also. So, to counteract the false pride, we have to cultivate humility. The knowledge can come false pride. To counteract false pride, we cultivate humility. And Sukham can lead to complacency. What is that? We lose the vigor to distribute Prabhupada books. We lose the vigor to do Harinam Sankirtana. We lose the vigor to preach and make people into devotees. We may sometimes become like a Kopamanduk, like a frog in the well. Sometimes, be delighting in the, in the wisdom of the literatures and go deeper, go like this instead of distributing it to others. Instead of distributing to others. When I went to Velukudi Krishnan's home, I was there for half a day there in Trichy. So he was telling, all the other Sri Vaishnavas were telling him, why are you so much eager to give lectures and sermons for the mass of people? If you see them like this, he said, then you'll forget to look up. They said, you should always look like this and go to Vaikuntha. After that, you can think of doing anything else. They said, don't get distracted. You are born and you are in Sri Rangam. Just remember the Acharya and remember the Vaikuntham and focus on that. Don't focus on this. He said, this is my lamentation. He was telling in ISKCON, you people are preaching so much vigorously. I am also very eager to see you preach there. Because I told those people that Sripad Ramanachari himself climbed up on the top of a temple and preached. He distributed the holy name. He didn't say that I will only go back to God. He didn't say that, isn't it? And then when he tells them, they were saying, hey, that is for Acharya, not for you and me. They say, we are very small people. Now what can we do? They say like that. But he said, I don't agree with them. He said, although I'm living in Sri Rangam, I'm traveling to US, I'm going to various places. He said, I wish I can have many youngsters like you guys are having in ISKCON. He was telling educated people, intelligent people, grihastha couples, brahmacharis, who can come and take this message everywhere. I would be very happy. So in that connection, he said, I want to meet you. I heard about you and all. And said, we both talked. So he was giving a proposal that it'll be nice if you want, I can give you few buses, 2, 3 buses I can give. Only thing is you keep half ISKCON books and half Sri Vaishnava books, he said. And then you can send it all over everywhere, let people buy whichever one they want. That kind of proposal he gave. Of course, I put the proposal in the meetings. After that, nothing moved in that connection. But the idea is, our sukham should not bring about, laziness. Therefore, Krishna says, Vigata Jvara, he says. Vigata Jvara, he says. One should give up the lethargy and laziness, he says. So we should neither be lazy nor be proud. Laziness in Tamaguna, pride is Rajaguna. So here you can see in the verses which I read, the attitude of Kaviraj Goswami towards, Lord Chaitanya and the previous acharyas and the younger ones, everybody. And as well as most importantly, what is his attitude towards another person who is writing Chaitanya Leela? He is writing Chaitanya Leela. There is one more acharya who has written Chaitanya Leela already, which is Chaitanya Bhagavat. So now, for example, now we all are preachers now. Somebody is asking you about another preacher. Somebody says, Prabhuji, I am hearing Amogila Prabhu's lectures, or I am hearing Gaurang Prabhu's lectures, or I am hearing Nitai Sevini Mataji's lectures. Those people are my greatest inspiration. Amarendra Prabhu's lectures. They are my greatest inspiration. So some people talk about the preachers. Some people talk about the books also. Correct now? Some people talk about books in the same field. For example, Purna Pragya Prabhu's Mahabharata is there, but Krishna Dharma Prabhu's Mahabharata is also there. Correct now? So the same manner, maybe you have produced some literature in one area, another fellow god brother or god sister, in another part of the world might have also produced a similar book in the same direction also. Like you have made a Gita summary, a Gita in a nutshell you have made. Somebody else has made similar summary study of Bhagavad Gita books like Gauranga Darshan was made. If somebody comes and tells us, Prabhuji, I saw that book, I have not seen your book, I saw that book. What we say and what we think, both are very, very important. Correct, no? Like what Vallabhacharya, what he said about his commentary of this Bhagavatam. What he said, you all know that, correct, no? So when he went to meet Advaitacharya Prabhu, Nityan Prabhu and all, he said, actually, Sridhara Swami's commentary, see, that has some limitations, but I have made a commentary, which is much far superior, far better than that. They were all not very happy to hear such a comment. Because no Vaishnava generally is allowed to speak like that about other Vaishnavas. One has to put it very politely. Even if you wrote a very nice thing, you can always show to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Swarup Damodar and ask, I have written some commentary. Will you please comment about it? Rather than we telling something great about our work. Appreciation should come from our own mouth or from others' mouth. From others' mouth, correct? No? Rather than we boasting about, I am the best devotee. And actually, in Tamaguna, Rajaguna, what is the mentality? In Tamaguna, one says, I am the only devotee, nobody else is devotee. That is Tamaguna. And Rajaguna means, I am the best devotee. Others are not as good as me. That is Rajaguna. Correct? No? So, when then Advaitacharya Prabhu said, oh, really? He said, here comes the personification of all religious principles. Who is that? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, tell him what you told us, and then he will teach you a suitable lesson. He said, and then when he told Lord Chaitanya, Chaitanya heard it, he was totally displeased. He said, Yashodanandan, Shyamasundar, Yashodanandan, Ihamatra Jani. What are you coming and talking to me? I don't know much Bhagavatam, Tika and all these things. I simply worship Yashodanandan and Shyamsundar. So that's all I do. But he didn't leave. He said, no, I want you to hear this Tika. Because he thought that if Chaitanya accepts, then everybody else will accept. That was his idea. And then when he said, I have written Tika better than Sridhar Swami, then he said, what? He said, if somebody rejects the Swami and says my commentary is superior, that is actually a behavior of a Vishya or a prostitute, like that he said. That was like a thunderbolt for him. So he says, Hamsamadhye Bakoyata. I felt like a duck among lions. So why Mahaprabhu gave that heavy thunderbolt? Because sometimes when we are too much, we are pampering our false ego, it becomes bloated like a balloon. Somebody has to burst that balloon. Uh, Then when the balloon breaks, then one comes to ground. We will have the head between the shoulders. So sometimes, your head can be in the clouds, but leg should be in the ground, correct? No? So Mahaprabhu brought him to that. Even if our mind is demanding sense gratification, which is illegitimate, then we have to give a chastisement to the mind by chanting extra rounds. Tell the mind, today instead of 16, let us chant 32 rounds, because you are demanding illegitimate sense gratification. In the same manner, Mahaprabhu gave a chastisement. And then Mahaprabhu said, you are a wonderful devotee of Krishna. What are you talking? Go back home and then write a commentary in line with Srila Swami. And then you bring it. Then you show it to us. And if you do that, me and other Vaishnavas will come to your home, he says. And then he did that precisely. He arranged a big feast. And then the end was a very sweet ending. Mahaprabhu actually relieved the stress that existed in the heart of Alabhadra Bhattacharya due to this little unpleasant exchange. Mahaprabhu was very intelligent. He managed the situation in such a way that finally everything came out well. But the point is that pastime teaches us what not to do. And Kaviraj Goswami's writing teaches us what to do. These are the two things you can compare and see for yourself. Kaviraj Goswami is talking about Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavandas Thakur. He has great respect for that book, great respect for that writer also. And here, in the Vallabhacharya's pastime, we learned that one should not talk ill of others' books, or one should not talk ill of other authors, or one should not talk ill of other speakers, because every speaker is differently, empowered. Correct, no? Everybody is like a different flower. One speaker is like a jasmine, one speaker is like a lotus, one speaker is like a sunflower. Everybody has different flavors of fragrances. Similarly, different styles that they may have. And especially those who are neophyte devotees, whether you are boys or congregation or brahmacharis also, the neophytes always have a tendency to compare. Compare and say that this is good, this is bad, and this is great, this is useless. They always make such comparisons, and due to that, they can fall prey to offenses. So, similarly, every community has its ego also. Every temple has its ego. Our temple and their temple. Correct, no? Our community and their community. And also, between the communities, there are differences in cultures. So, for example, in some community, people wear t-shirts. In other community, people wear formals. Correct, no? In some community, people don't mind others, keeping mustache and little beard and all that. In some communities, they're clean shaved like that. In some communities, there is a, emphasis maybe on, like, Gita Jayanti is coming, let us recite the whole Bhagavad Gita. Let us recite all 18 chapters, call everybody and we sit and we perform a yajna and everything. Other communities say, Gita Jayanti, let us go out and distribute as many Gitas as possible. And in temple, what's happening? Nothing. Everybody is out distributing. So it's a mood of different communities, the same or different? Can be quite different. Correct, no? Yeah. And some communities, Prabhujis, Matajis, both are welcomed and respected, and they are empowered also. Okay, Mataji can give lecture to girls and children, and Matajis empower them, give them money, give them posters, give them assistance from the men also, so that they can also flourish in their preaching. In some communities, they are told, all Matajis sit behind and just, follow your husband who is like God. And just, you can come for the program, take prasad and go. You should not show your face and you don't talk anything. Some communities are like that. They're too much of, what do you call it, playing, downplaying, that kind of thing. Of course, Vedas don't say do this or do that. Vedas say there is the Vedic culture is a very extraordinary culture. Where the women are highly respected. At the same time, they are taught submissiveness. It's a very good blend of both. So one should know every community has its flavors. And what we do, I will tell you in Pune. For example, some boys come from north or east or west, somewhere else they come. We don't immediately take them into our centers. We tell them that you stay nearby and come daily for the morning program. We'll give you prasadam. Prasad is not a problem. You can take prasad, visit. And then we can watch his culture, how they speak, how they conduct, how they dress, what kind of, like some of them are keeping the smartphone right in the lap while chanting. And they keep doing WhatsApp japa. You know? Yeah. So we are very strict. Your phone should be kept away when you are chanting. So therefore, then what happens when one new boy is doing, then what happens to other boys? Then they all go and bring their own smartphone. They say, I think this is chalta, this is all right. So the bad cultures creep in right now. So we tell the boy that, see, you have been here for 3 months, you know how this place is. If you can, if you find it comfortable to follow all these things, then you can come in. And we show him these are the 30 rules or 40 rules we follow here. If you can gel with this culture, you come. If you're not very comfortable with this culture, you can stay out and then, you can come and take whatever advantage you want to take, you can take like that. Rather than, talking ill of him or his trainers in the other places, correct, no? His mentors. We don't have to criticize. They are what they are, and they may be good in another way, because sometimes we are able to only get this many devotees. They are able to get this many devotees because they may be a little lightweight preaching they may do, by which they may make more devotees. And they may little bit compromise on standards. But that is one approach to bringing many people into the movement. And in that, some of them will become serious. Correct, no? So conservative approach, liberal approach. Both are two different approaches. We don't have to say that we are the pure devotees and they are impure devotees or whatever. We don't have to proclaim ourselves to be, like holier than thou attitude. Like, I have a halo around my head, In this community, all of us have halo around the head. That kind of feeling is not very good. Correct? So this is also prejudice. Prejudice about our community, another community. So in this way, we should actually cultivate respect for other preachers, others' writings, and we should emulate that type of model, where we are more broad-minded to think that Krishna can manifest himself through the writings and speeches of various jivas. And I am not the only one. I am not the only empowered one. There are many great souls. What do you think? Many great souls are possible, or only one great soul is possible? What do you think? Many great souls are possible. It can be many. And everybody manifests beauty in a different way. Correct now? Yeah. Like in Mayapur, when we go, we do one session. It's a panel session where there are about 10, 12 devotees, preachers sitting. Everybody speaks 5 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes they speak. And that is one of the most attended sessions. Everybody loves it because multiple speakers, they all speak from different angles. Something very interesting. Krishna, seated in their hearts, super soul, he inspires them differently, correct, no? The emphasis on different aspects of Krishna consciousness. So, in this way, it's very important to learn these things as growing devotees, especially those who have been around for 6 years, or 8 years, or 10 years in Krishna consciousness. And when we talk about Vaishnava behavior is not only, wearing tilak, how to wear tilak, how to wear dhoti kurta, how to wear sari, how to offer obeisances. You have to keep Lord on the left side and offer obeisances. Panchanga pranam, Ashtanga pranam. That is also Vaishnava etiquette. Or how to offer the bhoga, how to ring the bell and offer the bhoga. These are all also there. But as you go deeper in the Vaishnava philosophy, Vaishnava Sadachar, as you go deeper. So these are some of the things. Last class, half of the class I devoted for the prejudices, if you remember. There will be Tarko, Apatishta, Shritya, Vipina. Whenever there are differences between two senior devotees, how it should be very amicably settled. And one should not create a big scene in the public forum, email forum, or in a public discussion forum. If there is a difference between two senior people, one can understand that there is a difference, and let us not unnecessarily brush that side of the personality. one can just ignore the difference and see the commonality, and then go on with your spiritual life. And that is his opinion. Let the person have it. And I have my opinion. Let him have it. No problem. We are seeing from two different angles. Like, for example, how much the female should be empowered. There are people who have seen in our society that females were mistreated at a certain time after Prabhupada left the planet. So they have one paradigm that now they all feel that females should be respected. And then there are others who come from traditional Indian families, who feel that the woman should not be given so much freedom. Otherwise, the purity will be lost. So they see from another angle, correct? No? So because of two different paradigms, there can be tooth and nail fight between devotees. So therefore, one should know that people are coming with different paradigms. Like, let me ask you a question. How many of you feel that dog is a very friendly creature? And, before you came to Krishna consciousness, you had some encounter with the dogs and you feel it's a very friendly creature who shakes hand, who wags the tail beautifully. And, when you give a biscuit or something, it's very grateful and very loyal to the master. How many of you have seen dog in that way? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 8, 10. Okay. How many of you always in your life you felt that dogs are very dangerous, we should keep away from them? How many of you? See, yeah, correct, no? I'm also with you, don't worry. All of us have our paradigms, correct, no? Because why? Because one of my friend was bitten by a dog and they had to give 32 injections around the navel. Stomach they give. After I heard that, I thought dogs are very dangerous, correct? No? So that is, and we should not bring them. They're not very clean also. They take the bone and everything. So now, when congregation parents go to Vella farm, for example, they are attending that program and the children are playing with the dog there. One of the two kids were lifting the dog and keeping on the lap and everything, and the father came running and said, "Hey, don't touch this. It's very unclean. Huh? How can you touch this creature? There are some things, creatures on the body of the dog. You can actually go and play with the cow, not with the dog." But what happens? The children have learned this paradigm from their friends. When they go to their friend's home, there they pet the dog, they deal and everything. So they think, what's wrong with the dog? It's such a beautiful creature. Looks so cute, and they think like that. Correct, no? They pick up certain things. So those are two different paradigms. What I would do, from a Vedic point of view, what is true? Sachimata says to, Nimai, that actually dog should not be mistreated. You cannot stone a dog, pelt a dog on a stone on a dog. But when a dog comes to your door, you should give some food and send it away. You don't bring it inside. But cow, you can bring it inside. It's a pure animal, Sataguna animal. And dogs carry a bone in their mouth. It's not very clean. So this is the Vedic way. So what I would do, I would stick to what is the traditional Vedic way, and then we follow it. Correct, no? Like when we had gone to Govardhanaka village, Gauram Prabhu, me, and we all were walking. And there were a couple of dogs, and some of the devotees were shaking hand with the dog. They said, "Radheshyam, if you can shake also." He said, I cannot shake. I can respect the dog from a distance. I said, "Thank you, that's good enough." There was a donkey, there were two dogs, some creatures were there. Of course, I don't criticize anybody for that. Why Visualness Maharaj has kept them there? Because some of the foreigners come, like Sharon Gannon and such big yoga teachers. They are very much angry with the Western world for the cruelty to animals. When they see that very innocent creatures like the dogs and the donkeys and other creatures are, goats also and chicken also, they are reared not for eating, but for allowing them to give them a platform to just live peacefully in the farm. So they feel very happy. She said, she saw that and said, "Oh, next time I'm going to bring 100 students here." Just because by seeing that. So in a village, you see that they rear these things, some people, but then they rear for eating, which is not proper. Correct, no? So I have no criticism towards anybody, but I don't have to play with them just because others are playing. I have my opinion, my paradigm about them. So I will not go near, although somebody else may shake hand with them, embrace them, keep them on the lap and all that. If they do, now can I change their paradigm? How many of you think it's a little difficult to make them change paradigm? How many of you feel? Correct, no? We may not be able to change, but what we can do, we can follow our paradigm. So that is the point. Last time I said there may be prejudices in us. So we should not bring out the prejudices by criticizing, saying that, hey, they are doing chichichi, they are doing all these things. They have no Brahminical standard. Kya? No, such crazy fellows. They are like Shudras and things like that. If you comment like that, imagine you comment not in a class, but to another devotee. But the word will get around. They will say that nowadays many devotees, they record also. They keep one smartphone. They will ask her, Prabhuji, आपका सोचना क्या है? What do you think about this? And then they will record what you are saying. And then they will float it in the WhatsApp. It's a Prabhuji ne aise bola. Some people are born for that. And he will say that, no, how did you know that I said it? Prabhuji, whole world knows. This is what you said. And many people secretly record nowadays. Many people. Some people who come to me, they ask me, Prabhuji, when you speak, can I record? I say, yes, you can record. I don't say anything, with recording or without recording. I'm going to say the same thing. You can take it. I say that. But sometimes people, without telling, they put the recording on and keep it in their pocket. And then they come near and say, Prabhuji, tell me about this. They know that if they a little bit trigger you, and then you pour out, but, like that you say, then what happens? Then they will float it. It can lead to a big problem for you later. One has to be very careful. So what we speak about others. So others are what they are. You be what you are. So yes, now we can take questions. Yeah. Mike, is there relevant?
There are some things at personal spaces, like you said, dogs, they are shaking hands, and they said yourself what to do, you can shake hands. Then you said, because it's a personal space. So there will be some situations where it will be a public space, like temple and this thing. Like if you take dog example, when someone says that no, dog is also living entity, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while when he was small, he was playing with the dog, and he gave some food to the dog also when he was sannyasi. So why can't we bring in? So
actually,
they may
bringing a dog into the temple is not allowed. Everybody knows it. And it's the policy of the temple. And you don't have to say it's my opinion. It's not your opinion. It's a policy. See, when it comes to policy, then nobody can become angry on you. Correct, no? Therefore, what I'm saying is we don't bring our personal prejudices. You give an example where it is a personal prejudice.
I don't want to. So suppose women empowerment or whatever these things are there, or those topics. Sometimes between the devotees only there are difference of opinion.
Yeah.
So from the Vedic point of view, there is one stand.
Yeah.
And if you want to put that point of stand there, some people may not accept. No, it is
actually it's very easy. I'll tell you how you handle it. For example, in Pune we have voice centers where only boys are allowed to stay. So one boy was like vehemently opposing it. He said every week classes, girls should be allowed to come. Girls and boys attend together. And we should allow them to freely interact with each other. They can take prasad together. They can be like friends. You don't have to be very rigid and strict. I said, okay, if you don't like voice, you start noise. You can start another one. So you can start your own thing. Yeah. So if you don't like this model, you have the freedom. This is what we are doing. According to us, in the temple program, public program, girls are allowed. They can come. Congregation programs, they are allowed. In yatras also, for example, in congregation, unmarried girls can also come because Matajis will take care of them. Correct, no? But he was telling in camp, we should allow boys and girls both to come for the camp. But then if girls are staying in one building and boys are staying in another, and the night they come out and they interact and all, if something happens, we will be responsible, correct, no? For the parents. So we don't want to take, like in America, for example, we did a camp for the boys, about 40 boys and about 10 girls. So the 40 boys, we arranged accommodation. And for the 10 girls, it was 5 kilometers away, And there was senior Mataji who brought them for the camp. Day long, they attended the camp. Night after the dinner, they took all the girls with her and they stayed 5 kilometers away. And then the early morning, next day, they came back again for joining the camp. Because they took responsibility, we allowed that, Otherwise, we have also told the mentors that Mataji mentor should sit with the girls to chant. Similarly, Prabhuji mentor should sit with the boys. And we don't want them to interact casually like they interact in the college. Nor do we want them to, create that free culture. Correct? So we have made very clear, again, it's policy. We have made it. Now, personally, that boy can have his opinion. And we don't tell him, hey, you are a fool, you don't understand. We don't tell him. I never told him that. I told him that, oh, your idea is wonderful. You can start nice. I told him. Like, no? Ours is voice. You can be nice. You become a founder of another club where boys, girls can interact freely, no problem. So that way he was very happy. He said, thank you for the idea. Very good. So in the same manner, in your community, for example, a leader along with a team of senior leaders together, you create a certain type of culture, which actually we should see that, it follows the norms, what is taught. Like Prabhupada gave chance, opportunity for the girls also to grow in Krishna consciousness. He treated them like daughters. We also want to give opportunity. There are many, many Mataji preachers who write mails to me along with my assistant, Vaishnu Prabhu in CC. I reply all the mails. There are plenty, many of them, North, East, West, many places, at least a dozen different preachers write to me. I'm not fanatical and say that we are brahmachari makers, We don't say that. We treat them like mothers. We reply if they ask for some materials, I send. I connect them also to each other also. I connect them. One Mataji preacher in South, I connect her with another. We are very liberal in terms of helping them to connect and nourish one another amongst them and grow, and we provide whatever help we can. At the same time, we don't want one-on-one man and woman connecting on a personal level and getting into sense gratification. That will destroy the whole movement. It's not proper. Correct? We are here for a spiritual purpose. Correct, no? And in order to maintain the sanctity of the movement, we should have the Lakshman Rekha, within which we remain and we follow. So when I write any letter to any woman, I presume that this is going to be read by the husband. Though I have another boy, another brahmachari in CC, if the wife shows it to husband, Radheshyam has written this letter, I have no problem because there is nothing personal there. It's all Krishna consciousness. Whatever interactions we do. And this is the standard we want to follow. Nothing personal. You can be personal and very intimate and affectionate in a place where you're dealing with members of the same sex. Or even with a couple, husband, wife, they are meeting a brahmachari. You can be affectionate to the couple in the presence of the husband, wife together. We can appreciate them and everything. But when we are writing any private, so these norms we follow, and the other fellow may not want to follow these things. He will say, this is too conservative, he says. Therefore, he told him, start your own thing. Correct, no? He said like that. So, therefore, you can bring these things under policy. This is our policy. Prabhupada says, honest avoidance of opposite sex, he says that. So, under that policy, we are following these things, we can say. Correct, no? So, one fellow argued with Prabhupada. Swamiji, why are you saying I have to remove the mustache? Even you are having mustache. He said, Prabhupada said, yes, I had mustache, but I was a businessman at that time. Before taking Diksha from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But after I took Diksha from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I removed my mustache. See my photo? You will not find it, Prabhupada said. Prabhupada gave an answer also, even to a fellow who argued like that. So, Prabhupada has certain norms he has made, and we follow those norms. Correct now? And you can quote from Prabhupada, letters, Prabhupada's purports, why we do what we do. And we also have to be careful that we are not unnecessarily fanatical. If we are overly fanatical, that will not lead to good of the moment. We have to always keep checking, am I going to the fanatical side or am I going to the other extreme where I'm becoming too liberal? We have to keep ourselves in the midway. All right? Yeah.
And one more question. Suppose if we have a difference of opinion between our leader and ourselves, and we try to present this is the way this has to be, and he's saying no, this is the way it has to be. So then, how is the proper way to communicate? Because if we like no, this has to be done this way, so that these are the things practical.
So these things will happen in every community. For example, in Pune, I have made a policy that our brahmacharis will have WhatsApp only in the computer and they won't have it in their smartphone. Because during chanting time, they get beep sound and get distracted. And some brahmacharis argued with me that pretty morning time, we will not keep it. Keep the smartphone away. After 9 only, we will keep it as. But I told even after 9 also, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. also, if WhatsApp calls are too frequently coming, our communication interaction increases more and more. But if it is in computer, you can see at your leisure when you have time. Correct, no? So some people didn't like it, and there were little arguments and back and forth and everything. At last, I told them that, you can see that, our too much of communication and too much of social connectivity makes our brahmacharis not go for Harinam Sankirtan, not go for book distribution. You want to send 3 buses out, but brahmacharis are not available because they are too much counseling, connecting with people. So your sadhus reduce. Unnecessary communication is not required. Something meaningful, something Krishna conscious, only you should connect. Like people ask, train aa gaya kya? Pahunch gaya kya? Some people, you've seen that? People make so many phone calls. So finally they accepted because I am very strong in these kind of things. They know that I am extremely liberal in other things. Like prasadam, for example, in our temple, there is 3-timer prasad. There is a 2-timer prasad. There is opulent prasad. There is a austere prasad. Everything available. There are 7 types of prasad available. Somebody wants liquid prasad. Somebody wants solid prasad. Somebody wants health prasad. They know very well that I have never put any restriction. They get. Similarly, Vaishnava Samvardhan, is a place where they can get. In those days, in Kunjavari temple days, if one devotee lost a soap, 1 week he has to use sand only. After 1 week, they'll give a new soap. One devotee was strict. I removed the strict devotee and put one very liberal devotee. I told, hey, Vaishnavas, don't, take them to task. Just liberally give them whatever they ask. Sometimes in their travels, they may lose a soap, correct? No? So now anybody knows, anytime you go and tap the door, whatever thing you want, you get. But you want a earphone, you get you want a soap, you get a soap, everything. So people know I am liberal in these things. Prasadam, you are liberal. And anybody wants to start preaching Quran in any part of the city, they are given freedom, vehicles are given, facilities are provided. They know that I am morally strict about things which will hurt them spiritually. In our gift stall also, they would call me, Radheshyam, please come and see. We have a very nicely developed gift stall. I went and I saw many demigod things were there. I said, why you brought this? Such people ask for this. He said, no, don't promote these things. We don't want this. There were certain things I felt which Prabhupada may not be very happy about if you promote those things. I told them. So my eyes always will see, the spiritual purity. Something is being compromised, I can say. So they know very well that what this fellow is made up of. So they know that certain things they may not like, but they have to accept. In the same manner, in your local community, your leader has certain emphasis. So you can do 2 things. Either he is very strong about his emphasis, you learn to adapt yourself to that and go on with that standard. Or then eventually you grow and go to another place and start another community. You can start and develop a community. Like I told you, instead of voice, you can have noise. Similarly, you can have another. That doesn't mean your another community starting is a wrong thing. Like for example, from Pune, we sent about 14, 15 groups of devotees to different places. Now in their temples, they may have mobile WhatsApp. I'm not behind them because they are not directly under me. Correct? No? In that temple, they will have their freedom. But parental control everywhere I have emphasized. There should be strict parental control in both mobile and computer. Some people didn't like it, but that doesn't mean they don't get YouTube access. We have got a room like this where we have, like half a dozen computers where YouTube is available whole day. That means you go to a public lab, everybody can see you, what you are opening. And there are all around people are watching, eyes are watching you. But if you get a YouTube in the private phone, later on the history shows what kind of person you are. If you go to the view history. So we don't want that. You open in a public place. That means I am not depriving them of the facility. At the same time, I'm protecting them from the dangers. Correct? Huh? So your leader also, you can check whether the emphasis is giving on certain things. Is it for our welfare or is it his prejudice? A prejudice, for example, means somebody, like one leader is coming abroad, what he did on Shivaratri day, in one of these temples, they brought a big Shivalinga and they were doing Abhishek. That became a big controversy. So then he was quoting that Prabhupada said, sometimes devotees go to Ambikavan, our Nanda Baba went and they celebrated this Shivaratri somewhere. So he was quoting that and said, because Prabhupada wrote that, I thought we can also do this. Because the donor said, if you do this, I'll give you a big donation, something like that. But there was objection from the top because if one temple does it, then many temples will do it. So anything controversial we want to do, it is always best to consult with the higher authorities. Whether we can go for such a thing, can we do such a thing? Yeah, one should be very careful. And we also should know that if you're living in a community, your leader has developed this community by putting his sweat and toil. A lot of struggle has gone in the beginning, early stage, when there was practically nothing. He started from the scratch. And then eventually some few leaders came up, and you are also one of them. Now, a good leader is one who gets multiple leaders and sits with them and arrives at a consensus which will be satisfactory to everybody, correct now? So I also do that in Pune. We have a 8-member TMC body. I never start discussing any point in the beginning. They will only discuss and send the minutes to me, and then only I give my comments afterwards. So that means they get an opportunity to express their heart. Some of them are happy that at least we got a chance to express what we wanted to say. That is heard at least. And then the final decision made by the leader is supposed to be keeping in mind the welfare of the community, all the people, which sometimes a team of members may not be able to see sometimes. Just because the majority is agreeing for something doesn't mean it is right. Correct? No? For example, you ask 50 children, how many of you want chutti for the whole week, holidays? Then, 45 children say, ma'am, we want holiday. So can they go by that? Because school has to happen also. 2 days they'll give holidays and then they will conduct the other days. Correct now? So Einstein also said that what is popular may not always be right. He also said. So we have to, therefore, we should not become too much upset that why, this is being done like this, why can't this? I gave an idea. So we can give our opinion and be detached. That is the ideal conduct of any of us. Why? Because just as you are under that authority is also not independent. He is also under another authority. And that authority is also under another authority. You will see that everybody, there is only one person who has no authority above. Who is that? Krishna. Swarat. He is the only Swarat. Otherwise, all of us have somebody above us. So because our authority is trying to follow what his authority is teaching him, so therefore we have to follow our authority also. I have a whole workshop on authority and subordinate. It's a very important thing. You will get it if you put it in the see, there you get it here. It's there in the malt also, I think. You can get it authority and subordinate. Let us see. Authority. See here. This is different. Balancing obedience to authority and independent thoughtfulness. Oh, your question exactly. Exactly correct now. This is the question we are discussing. How we can be independently thoughtful at the same time, balancing with authority. That's one thing. And that is also, why follow superior authority? It's a Bhagavatam, I think. There is one, it's not coming here. Maybe in Malt, surely we'll find it. Authority subordinate is not coming here. Maybe if I put only authority, it may come. It's a very important topic, it is. Search. Just search here, okay. Is spelling correct, authority?
Yes.
Okay. Huh? Okay, when it is still coming, but it is surely there. Malt, you will find it. It's a very important topic. No, here it's not able to show it here, but I'll find out. Again. Yeah? The playlist it is there. Okay. We just put MALT underscore Hindi. If you put like this, the playlist has come. If you go to Malt Hindi, in this you will find the authority subordinate will be there. It's there. I think it's in Hindi, I think. Okay. Actually, winning the art of winning the heart of authority or something like that is there, I think. Huh? Is it? No, this one. Art of becoming an endearing superior and art of winning the heart of with 25 and 26. You see? See, art of winning the heart of superiors is for whom? Subordinates. And art of becoming an endearing superior is for whom? For authority. These two. Correct, no? Okay. These are the two. Okay. This is the one. Okay, you can find out, I think. These two, correct, no? Art of winning the heart of superiors. Maybe I'll just put it. You can. There's 25 and 26 sessions. I'll put it in Madhav Gopinath Prabhu's. Here I'll put it, okay? Okay, I sent you, Prabhu. Huh? Okay, what was your question, Madhav Gopinath? You want to say something?
Just trying to bring a couple of examples. Recently, we had a festival. Generally, festival time, lot of opinions and lot of this thing will come out with respect to everything. Ideas. For example, some say, you're too busy with festival decoration, coordination, everything. Let's not have a class. Let's not call anybody.
Somebody told this Krishan Prabhu. He became very upset.
Yeah, I was also upset.
Yeah. Krishan said, what are the use of all this decoration if the class is like the soul of the festival?
Yeah. So like that, sometimes we have to take a call as a leader. Some people may not like it. They say we will be tired. We have to do so much of service, so much of coordination. Not everybody will be there. So despite all that, finally I ended up canceling the class. But we invited Vedanta, we canceled the whole program. But I feel that certain things, irrespective of what it is there. That's first thing. Second thing is, some people say prasadam means there should be a paneer biryani, there should be a jackfruit biryani, there should be 7-8 items. We collected so much donation, so we should give so much prasadam. When 4,000 people ran and Rath Yatra Day generally it rains, this time it is not raining. Last time people were in line for 1-2 hours. They didn't get prasadam. We had been booking continuously. I said only simple, only 3 items, no 4th item.
Correct.
So sometimes you have to take a call and decoration means some people bring a lot of plastic and thrown all around like this.
Balloons.
We made a policy that there is no such thing. So I have to take calls like this sometimes. But unfortunately, not everyone will like it because other temples have balloons, other temples have this thing, other place maybe Bombay or somewhere. But certain things we have to take calls.
Correct.
Like this. Sometimes there is some wild friends. But it was a very sweet distribution of prasadam.
And distribution becomes easy.
Easy also. And also I generally say that many people don't accept our prasadam is prasadam because you put a lot of masala, you put this thing. Generally in South India, prasadam is like a pulhora, like a curd rice, this thing, like a pongal, some sweet rice and something. Especially in large festivals when everybody is there, I feel that we should keep it to something that is acceptable as prasadam. Local. If you give a jackfruit biryani, paneer biryani, something, we may take it in our programs, but the public...
public has some expectation. Local menu. I can't. If it's Punjabi, give Punjabi. If it's Gujarati, give Gujarati. It's South Indian. So you felt you could give some South Indian item. And also this is always a big tug of war between whether prasadam should be opulent or simple. Then what happens in the kitchen? And the temple team, everybody says, oh, we want to please the Vaishnavas by making very opulent prasad. And the Vaishnavas say, we have to eat the prasad because they have done with love, so we have to eat it. But then after eating, there's so much problem in the belly, paneer. See, beyond a certain age, this kind of very opulent foods are not very good. Huh? When you go for yatra also, we find somebody is 70, 75 and is eating all this ragada peti and all these things. Hmm? Huh? All kinds of items they are eating. And they're saying, the devotees are cooked with love. How can I say, See, Krishna can eat even mountain also. He can accept our love in the form of, when he was Govardhan, Aniyor, he ate everything. Now, can we copy that? What will happen to us? It's very dangerous. Huh? Isn't it? We cannot digest all that. It is true that the younger ones will like some opulent prasad, especially below the age of 30, 35. Probably there should be two type of items. The older ones can take something very simple and the younger ones can get something opulent. Balance we have to arrive at. Actually, sometimes I have the same problem in Pune also when you have festivals and everything. So sometimes too much opulent food is made with all brahmacharis. Everybody eats that. After you eat that kind of heavy food, what kind of sense control do you expect to do? There should be, if you read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is true that there are feasts made, a big feast also. But when Ramachandra Puri criticized Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Mahaprabhu reduced his food, Vaishnava stopped eating for several days. How many people can do that now? Can a devotee stop eating? Along with that, if you read Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying that if somebody is, going for the renounced order, they should eat shaka, shaka, fool, mool. Either he says kanda mool. They should eat very simple, he says. There are shlokas I can quote, I can show you. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching. But Prabhupada was telling in Vrindavan when he went, they had made a big plate of lot of opulent foods and everything. And when Prabhupada went and saw that, he said, oh, this is a lot of items and very opulent. And the Rajabhog should be distributed to the visitors, Prabhupada said. And the pujaris were asking, but Prabhupada, can pujaris keep half the plate and then rest of it can they distribute? Prabhupada said, no need to keep anything. Distribute everything to the visitors. The Rajabhog is very opulent. Devotees need not eat such very opulent items. The devotee's life is sattvic and very simple. You distribute it away. Then one devotee had the guts to ask Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, some devotees are asking if everything is distributed, what will remain for them? Yes. Prabhupada said, Radharani will save for them. He said, don't worry. Whatever she saves, you eat. Prabhupada, only thing will be saved is rice also. Yes, you eat that. Yeah. So, then after that, so much opulence and making was a bit reduced naturally. When it comes to eating, ourselves, we may tend to make too much. It's not very good. Prabhupada also controlled the devotees from eating too much gulab jamuns, which in the early days he was very liberal. Correct, no? After 4-5 years when he told, hey, don't eat like this, you would say, Prabhupada, you only told us to eat. Prabhupada said, I'm only telling you to stop now. He said, because now it is not good for you, because you were a very young devotee at that time. At that time, gulab jamun became like a puller for you. It was pulling you to Krishna. Now it will actually stagnate you in going to Krishna. Since now you know so much philosophy and everything. With advancement in philosophy, we also should know our eating habits should be made moderate. Mita book is one of the 26 qualities. Mita, one of the 26 qualities is coming in Vaishnava quality. I want you to eat moderately and simply. Basically to keep the body and soul together. And in the same manner, there's balloon and, all kinds of plastics and everything. So they're putting this paper and they're sending it like in the air. You've seen that? It falls all over the road. What do you call that?
Pop shot.
Pop shot, they call it. It's like a tanker kind of thing they do, and then it spreads paper and it sticks to the road everywhere. We have to make some arrangement to clean it also, I think. Otherwise, we spoil the whole this thing everywhere. So, what we do to environment is also important. My spiritual master used to say in Bombay, hey, anybody is throwing these Bisleri bottles, cups and everything, there was a whole team available behind the crowd of Rath Yatra to pick up everything. And the public should comment that ISKCON people are very responsible. They don't spoil the environment. So, if you are able to do that, then it is good. So, in the same manner, flower decoration is Vedic. His Grace Devakananda Prabhu in Kanpur, he was very upset when he saw a lot of balloons, all sides. So he said, "What is this? Nobody would do such a thing in the Vedic times." He was very upset. So next time it was no balloons and everything. But whenever he is unable to come, they put balloons, some people. And if Prabhuji is not there, now we can put balloons. Is it good? Not that he is saying, because I am coming, don't put. Generally, he likes, the traditional Vedic standard. So whether it is prasad, whether it is decoration, and also the pravachan. Many people feel, what is the need of pravachan after the long Rath Yatra? Just come and take darshan of Jagannath, eat prasad and go back. They don't feel the importance of that. But actually, there may be a newcomer. One word he may hear in the lecture and then he may become a devotee. That's a possibility, right now. Many people are introduced to Krishna consciousness through Rath Yatra, actually. So in Pune also, we used to have very good lectures the previous. Then later on what they did, from the lectures, they said, let us have only drama and cultural programs. They did that. And gradually that also was stopped. Then 1 year we invited His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj. And they told Maharaj that, Maharaj, you do kirtan, in between little you can give message. So Maharaj would give 10 minutes kirtan and then start message. When he would start 5-minute message, people will get up. By the time they're about to move, Maharaj will start the next kirtan and make them sit. They would get up and sit, because he sings very sweetly, very nicely. So like that he managed for about 45 minutes, 1 hour. But there are places where people sit down and hear also fully. Myself, I have experience here in Hyderabad, Vedanta Prabhu, Radheshyam, myself, we all spoke in our Rath Yatra, like 2,000 people are sitting and hearing. Only thing is, it shouldn't be too late at night. We should make sure we start early and end the parade early. By like 7, you end the parade, Then something like 7 to 8, 8:15 you keep it, and then 8:15 people take prasad and push off. Then it's very good. Not that, you did a long parade, you arrived at 9, 9:30, and then you keep a lecture and people eat prasad at 11. That's not very good. So lectures are very important. Either you have a solid lecture in the beginning or at the end. If you know lecture, then it becomes simply like a cultural festival without much. Similarly, some preachers don't like jambe in the kirtan. Dum, 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 dum. That just douses the singer's sound. So 2 jambe fellows are playing in Pune. When His Holiness, who is that? One of the Maharajas, one senior devotee came. He said to take away the jambe, it's not required. Keep only mridanga. Then we put a mic in the mridanga like this. Catch a mic. That was good. So some people like traditional music. So when we bring singers, we adapt according to the need of the singer. Some singer wants jambe, okay, bring jambe. Jambe, I tell them, don't beat too hard. Don't beat it so hard that your eardrums will break. Correct, no? Yeah, make it very rhythmic nicely. So these are decisions which if you have to make, if multiple people have multiple opinions, then on the spur of the moment, it may not be possible for the leader to accommodate everybody's opinion. Correct, no? Maybe if you can think ahead of time, 1 or 2 weeks before the festival, and in the meeting everybody gives their opinion, then maybe something could be accommodated. Otherwise, I would say that we should leave it to the ultimate other. Like even in GBC, what we do, we have 35, 40 GBCs are there. If they are unable to decide, they ask the executive committee to discuss. There are 3 people in that. If the executive committee is also confused, go round and round, then there is one person at the top, the chairman. Then he takes the call and he announces and everybody agrees after that. So there has to be somebody to, take the onus of the decision. Like for example, if Prabhuji makes a decision that prasad will be simple, and you all can very easily tell, Prabhu, we didn't decide, Prabhuji ne decide, kya unko hi pucha. Like, you can check. Some of us are saying opulent, some were saying less opulent. But we discussed with Prabhuji. And then when they go and ask him, he will give the reasoning. Correct, no? He will give the reasoning why we made simple, why we didn't make very opulent. Huh? Yeah. ISKCON, people will say that the Prabhupada started as a prasada movement, it's a kitchen movement. opulent. Therefore, I told there can be a blend. Even also for the devotees, we make some special programs on certain occasions. Yeah.
Just for clarification, Prabhu,
Yeah.
because the context of Rath Yatra was brought out. Maybe some devotees are not aware. We did have very opulent prasadam at Rampalli when we began the Rath Yatra. All 800 devotees took.
Sure.
We had so many items served. Some of the devotees were, some of them had services here. We had a combination of simple and very opulent.
Correct.
Because the number was high here, that's why probably it was.
Which means when there is a smaller number, we can make it opulent. When it's a bigger number, we can make it simple. Correct, no? That will be fitting in our bill also well. Isn't it? Otherwise, majority of the people, many times, there's a big fight for this thing. Yeah.
We can invite them for the opulent person.
We can invite them for that. Otherwise, in Pune Camp Temple, they were telling me that recently that we want to remove the 2 kutirs. Huh? I asked, why, Prabhuji? Crowd of time, festival days. Why they're not able to manage it? Then we found out the main reason is opulent prasad. They make 6, 8 items. On festival days, 5,000 people come and occupy the whole campus. It becomes very difficult. Then I told them that, we can have special opulent prasadam on certain chosen festivals, not for everything. Otherwise, the crowd is uncontrollable nowadays. Yeah, people. In general, after the COVID, the crowd started increasing everywhere. People are turning to God in a very big way all over the world. People are realizing that our control in our hands is very little. People are realizing it. We don't mind crowd coming, but we have to be sensible in making the type of prasad that will fit our bucket and it will be manageable to serve. Yeah. The leader can give reasoning, but ultimately somebody has to decide and take the onus for the decision, both. There should be one person should be there. Otherwise, it's an endless argument. It will go around and around, correct now? Yeah. Which one? Jambe? Jambe. Actually, if somebody can play softly, there's some Gunagarahi Maharaj used to play very softly. It's like Mridang only plays very, very softly. Very softly plays. These boys, young boys, they show their full passion. Like that, they beat like African drum, they beat so heavy, tongue, 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 it gives, and you can't hear the holy name. So then it's useless actually. Then better we have only Mridanga. But Mridanga players sometimes get tired sometimes. So then they bring that. But Mridangam can have mic. Pune they put mic both sides. Then you need not play very hard. You can have multiple Mridanga. Mahaprabhu's times, multiple Mridangas like that. Yeah. It's almost time. Last 4 minutes. Any one question? Anybody? Yes, Maji. Please give the mic to her. Yeah, that's right.
Hare Krishna.
Right.
Prabhuji, in the beginning, we were reading the verses. So in that, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has expressed his genuine inability that it's not possible to please all the Vaishnavas.
Correct, yeah.
So Prabhupada also in many purports, he writes the similar aspect. So there is another Siddhanta that like, if Krishna is pleased, Yasmin Tushte Jagat Tushte. If Krishna is pleased, everybody is pleased. So
we begin with Vaishnavas, then go to Guru, then go to Krishna. For example, any work we do, we try our best to find out how the Vaishnavas can be pleased. And we don't. Sometimes, for example, one example I'll tell you. In our temple, we have a nice sumo vehicle. So 3 or 4 preachers want the same vehicle to take for their program. Many things they can carry and everything. But only 1% can get it every evening. Other 3 will not get it. So the vehicle in charge is a very nice person. So he talks to them in such a way that he makes a balanced schedule. You get 1 week in a day, once in a week you get twice in a week, whatever. He makes arrangement. Sometimes he tells them that, Prabhu, now the sumo is going to come back in half an hour. Then both of you can use. He can also use, you can also use in the same day. So if you make an effort to please, that is considered equivalent to pleasing. Like Jatayu made an effort to please Ram, and Ram was pleased. So in pleasing Vaishnavas, we have to make an effort to please. and we have to check. But sometimes what happens, if somebody is in Tamaguna, for example, they want cinema theaters and liquor shops, which we cannot do in the outside world, I'm saying. You can't please the Shudras, mass of people like that. And they have to be told no cinema theaters and no liquor shops, correct? So, the same manner, even in the Vaishnava community, if somebody has certain, say for example, I go to give a lecture somewhere, they call a big audience, and everybody wants humor. Like one corporate program, one of the devotees was telling me, Manusnak was telling me, when he went to the corporate program, they were all having a big expectation that he will tell a lot of humor because they have seen Gauru Gopal Prabhu. So they in the beginning only they told him, आज हम सबको हंसाओ, बड़े हंसाओ, सब, all of us are very much stressed out. So he said, I am not such a man. Gauru Gopal is Gauru Gopal. He is what he is. And I am a little serious person and I have come to give a seminar. So now that is the reason why Gauru Gopal, when he travels, he may charge 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, many places. Because he gives something which people can feel like entertainment, and maybe something like bringing them to from tamas and rajas to sattva kind of thing. That kind of thing he does. But we have to clearly spell out to any company we go, why are you calling me? What do you want? If they say, we have seen Gauru Bapu, that's why we're calling you, we can say, no, I'm not like him. I am what I am. This is what I will come and deliver. This is what I can deliver you. If you're happy, you call, otherwise don't call. Correct now? We cannot please all such people. Correct now? At the same time, we should have some goal of why am I doing what I am doing and who am I trying to please. Some target Vaishnava's audience should be there. Correct now? Any work we do. Like for example, for us, Krishna is important, Guru is important. The prominent Vaishnavas whom we depend upon, they are very important for us. And sometimes when you do good work also, some people may not like it. That you don't have to worry. If these prominent people are pleased, Krishna is pleased, the Guru is pleased, the prominent Vaishnavas are guiding you, they are pleased. And they tell you that this is the right thing that you should do, whether people like it or not. Like in Pune, we have made a policy now. Every brahmachari should go 2 mornings in a week for Harinam Sankirtan. Earlier, I didn't make a policy. I just told them, you all can go. Just like that, you tell nobody goes. Now we made a policy now. Every morning, in a week, at least 2 mornings, half an hour, you should go. Or 1 evening for 1 hour. But per week, you have to have a quota of 1 hour of Harinam. We made it. Now everybody's following it now. It's not pleasing to everybody. But I told them, see, I gave you freedom, you didn't follow. So now we made a policy now. Correct, no? So that policy is like child, mother may say, beta, you can play from 5 to 7, but 7 to 9 you have to study. Child may not like it. She will like it, your daughter is here. So you'll play and you study also, correct, no? So she has to do both. Now, whether people like it or not, these kind of things which are medicinal and which are good for them, they have to be instituted at any cost. It's like giving lollipop and giving the medicine, both. You can combine both, we have to give both. We cannot always please everybody. Because in this world, sadhana bhakti starts with, instruction by Guru or by the Shastras. And that is Vidhi. Brahma's name is what? Vidhi. Why Vidhi? Vidhi means discipline, rule. Without the Vidhi, then there is no Vaidhi bhakti. Vaidhi comes from Vidhi. Without Vidhi. Once you come to spontaneous love, then you don't need all that. No policy is required. Person in Raga Bhakti, he'll be mad after Krishna. Like, no? But we are at Vaidhi stage, we need a... Therefore, Guru, because of love for Guru, some disciples may follow his good instruction. That's what is expected. And when people are criticizing what I would do, if somebody is displeased with me, I would note down and see why they are displeased. Is there any scope for my improvement? I will see that also. Because they may not be outrightly wrong. There may be some element of truth in what they say. Like that, I will presume and I will learn. And if they are criticizing me out of envy, I just ignore them and go on with my life. Correct, no? Yeah. Now it's time, 9 o'clock. You can Prabhupada ki.